Hello everyone, this is Dr. David Song from Rehab Hero, and today we'll be going over a quick mobility routine that you can do right before you do your squats for the day. Before we get started with today's mobility routine, you're going to need a kettlebell weighing at least 20 pounds or more, and you're going to need something solid like a wall anchor or squat rack to help you deepen some of the movements that we're going to be doing for your ankles and hips. We're going to do each exercise for at least 30 seconds, so here we go with our first one. First, take a wide base stance, and you're going to just tap near the body, a foot away from that and a foot away from that, and you're going to just repeat these 3 floor taps over and over again for 30 seconds. And you feel a dynamic stretch happening in your hamstrings, which is the back of your thigh, as well as your hip adductor muscles, which are found in your inner thigh. You might even feel a bit of a stretch in your feet and in your calves as well. Everyone will vary a little bit. If you feel a bit of a stretch in your low back, that's normal too. Next, we're going to lunge to one side. You're going to open up that hip, toes point towards the ceiling, back down, over to the other side. Toes point up, back down, shifting back over, side to side. If you need some floor assistance, by all means, try to keep your heels planted on the floor and both heels as much as possible. If you have to lift them up a little bit, that's totally fine. You'll be feeling this in the hip adductor muscles and hamstring muscles on each of the outstretched legs. Next, we're going to be grabbing our toes, and we're just going to be bending our knees. Extend the knees as far as possible while maintaining contact between your toes and hands. Good. You're going to feel the stretch in the hamstrings, calves, and low back. If you can't go all the way because of too much discomfort, that's okay. Do half reps. If you really find that you like any of these exercises quite a lot, just keep repeating. Next, we're going to take a squat stance. We're going to grab our toes, squat down, reach up with one hand, reach up with the other, squat back up, squat back down, reach up with one hand, reach up with the other, back down, squat up, squat back down. You want to feel this? Everywhere. All right, time to use that kettlebell. We're going to warm up our ankles, place that kettlebell on your knee in a half kneel stance. You're going to lean forwards, go as far as you can while keeping the heel planted, back up, and repeat. I'm just going to be doing this mobilization for our knee, ankle, hip. Really try to go as far as possible. Get that knee past your toes as far as possible. And rock back and forth. Switch sides. If you find that any of these are particularly effective, by all means, just click pause on this video and spend a few extra seconds or do another set. Get that knee past your toes. You might even feel a soft stretch in the opposite hip. It really all depends on where you are tightest. Try to keep your heel planted during this whole entire movement. Lean forwards, great. Now you're going to take a side kneel position, kettlebell in between both hands, shift to the side. You're going to feel this in your hip now. Go back and forth, shifting to the side. Again, let that knee go past your toes as far as possible, as far as your mobility allows. You might find you can go a little bit further with each repetition as your body loosens up. Let's switch sides. Shift to the side, back up. Try to push that knee outwards, almost as if you're trying to get that knee behind you. Really try and track in the middle of your kneecap through the midline of your foot. You don't want that knee to collapse inwards. Try to open it up as much as possible. You're going to feel this in the groin muscles, the hip adductors, the inner knee, the hamstrings once again. Great, we're going to move on to our 90-90s. Take a seat, heels out in front of you. You're going to shift your weight one way. Notice that there's a bend in your knee and hip, 90-degree bend. That's why it's called 90-90s. And you're going to switch sides and repeat. You're going to feel the stretch in the front hip. You're going to feel it just along the front of the hip, stretching out the hip internal rotators and external rotators As you shift side to side. Great. Now we'll be moving on to our thoracic rotation exercise. Down to your hands and knees. One hand behind the head. Just rotate back and forth. And we'll continue this for 30 seconds. Really challenge your mobility. Great. Be sure that you're not leaning to the side during this motion. You're just trying to imagine you're inside of a tube and you're rotating in it. You don't want to be shifting your body to the side or leaning to the side, as that means you're cheating through the movement. Repeat the other side now. Great. Great. We're going to do the same motion, but your hand behind your back. Rotate up. Try to get that chest towards the ceiling. You'll feel this all throughout the back of your shoulder. You might feel stretch through the front of your chest. But really, we're just trying to get that upper back to extend and rotate. The thoracic extension is really necessary for a good squat. It's an area a lot of people don't focus on. Now warm up that upper back. Make sure your bum is touching your heels as much as possible. And switch. If your knees are pretty sensitive, make sure to double up on that mat. You can also roll up a towel, put it behind or below your knees, I should say, to act as a thicker cushion. Likewise, if you're using a yoga mat, just roll it up so it gives you a few inches of cushion. Go at any tempo you want, really making sure you're feeling that upper back. Great. We're going to do the world's greatest stretch. In that half lunge position, you're going to lean forward, both hands on the ground, taking the hand same side as the bent knee. You'll reach up to the ceiling. You're going to feel this in the hip flexor of the back leg. You're going to feel in the hamstring and glutes of the front leg. And once again, you're going to feel in the upper back as we're rotating through that spine. Great, switch sides. We're almost there. Continue to rotate through the back. And be sure to remember to breathe. At this point, you should feel pretty warmed up. Your whole body should get pretty mobile from this routine. We're working on all the areas that we need for a squat. Last exercise, grab onto that stable object, squat down. You're just gonna rock side to side, getting those knees to pass the ankles as much as possible. Side to side, try to keep those heels planted. You might feel some discomfort at the front of the ankle. That's completely okay as long as it doesn't actually hurt. Bit of discomfort is okay. Just lean side to side. All right, and that finishes our mobility routine. Have fun, squat safely. See you guys next time.